Hey everybody, it's Jenny from Norman S. Wright. Last week we talked about HEPA and ULPA filters, but what if you have particles that are too small for even ULPA filters? What do you do then? So let's talk about that this week. Let's talk about activated carbon filters. Let's get started. Let's start by looking at particle sizes in a little more detail. The human body is pretty good at keeping the bad stuff out of us, but only up to, or in this case down to, a certain point. For air quality purposes, particles are defined by their diameter. Particles 10 micron or less, known as PM10, are inhalable but are primarily caught by the upper respiratory tract. These are often things like dust and pollen, but also respiratory droplets. Particles less than 2.5 microns, PM 2.5, are considered fine particles and can get into the lower respiratory tract. These can be things like bacteria, viruses, or wildfire smoke. Let me move this over to the side a little. Older adults with chronic heart or lung disease, children, and asthmatics are most likely to experience adverse health effects with exposure to PM10 and PM 2.5 particles. There's a much bigger concern about the most dangerous, less than 1 micron PM1 particles, because these can reach the alveoli, and the ultrafine, less than 0.1 micron particles, which can pass into the bloodstream and reach critical organs such as the heart, brain, liver, and endocrine system. Here's an excellent graphic from Visual Capitalist showing the relative sizes of particles compared to the human hair. And here are the PM10, PM2.5, and smaller particles. Let's scoot this out of the way again. Now, we're a few months away from wildfire season, but since many of Norman Wright's offices, as well as much of the U.S. itself, have wildfires in the summer, let's take a few minutes to talk about that. About 90% of the wildfire particles are PM 2.5 or smaller. For reference, 1,000 of these particles could fit on the period at the end of a typed sentence, or probably even more on this dot, depending on what your resolution is. These particles can be addressed with MERV 14A or higher filters or HEPA and ULPA filtration. But the second concern about wildfires is gaseous contamination. Gaseous contamination has particle sizes on the scale of molecules and can't be handled with even ULPA filters. The biggest issue here is ground level ozone. Ground level ozone is created when combustion gases in the fire react with UV light from the sun. Unlike upper-level ozone, which protects the planet from harmful UV radiation, ground-level ozone can trigger a variety of health problems. Gaseous contamination needs to be addressed with molecular filtration, such as carbon filtration or activated carbon filtration. Gaseous contaminants, such as smoke odor and ozone, are approximately 1,000 times smaller than the finest particles. The best way to absorb them is to use an activated carbon filter. Activated carbon is carbon that has been treated with a carbon dioxide or superheated steam at very high temperatures. This creates a matrix of tiny pores in the carbon that increases its surface area and creates more places for molecules to become trapped. Let's slide this over to make room again. Activated carbon has a random structure. This is highly porous with a broad range of pore sizes. Carbon filters work through a process called adsorption. This occurs when molecules attach to the outside of a surface rather than being soaked into it. The more porous the activated carbon, the better, as this will increase the amount of surface space available for contaminants to latch onto as air passes through the filter. Activated carbon looks something like this, where this black area is the carbon and these holes are the pores. So as air passes through the filter, molecules get trapped inside the pores. 1 gram of activated carbon can have a surface area of 1,000 to 3,000 square meters. That's roughly 32,000 square feet of surface area for less than 1 teaspoon of activated carbon. The most important characteristic of some activated carbons is broad spectrum adsorptive capacity. Broad spectrum carbons are able to adsorb a huge range of different molecules. Next, there's impregnated carbon that is intended to specifically adsorb an individual molecule or family of molecules. Let me make a little bit more room. The best solution for wildfire season would be to use a MERV 14 or higher or HEPA filter in combination with an activated charcoal filter. Activated carbon filters are good for a wide range of volatile organic gases and odors, not just wildfires. So let's pull all of this back on screen so you can reference it. That's an overview of activated carbon filters. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and thanks for watching.